I call the Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Mr Chairman, I know the competitions are pretty fierce at the moment, so I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to take the call in supporting David Parker's amendment to insert a new Part 3 in this amendment bill. My colleague Kevin Haigh from the Green Party, who's just resumed his seat, put it extraordinarily well when he said that actually it was good practice to review a major change in legislation like this, which could have potentially such a huge and negative impact on citizens of New Zealand. And that's actually what this debate is about. And for me, this amendment is about the National Party and ACT putting their money where their mouth is. Because every one of the National Party speakers, both of the National Party speakers in this debate, has said that our concerns are unjustified, that this will be a robust scheme, that injured workers will be treated fairly. Well, that is not true, Mr Chairman. Under the amendments that we have been debating for the last little while in the House, injured workers, injured children, injured elderly people will be treated unfairly because this legislation takes away the framework of their entitlement that has been restored to fairness. So what David Parker's amendment is proposing is that we put that debate to the test when we've got some facts to weigh up whether Labour is right, whether the Green Party's right. We share the concerns about the cost shifting, about people being moved off ACC but onto a benefit, or if they're married to an income earner, having no income at all, people being denied support for a hearing aid because they've only got 5.9% hearing loss, people who have committed suicide, their family left not only devastated by the loss of their family member but without any financial support from ACC because suddenly this House makes a value judgment about somebody who's bad committing suicide rather than recognising it's somebody who's overwhelmed with their life, as opposed to someone who is, I guess, a worthy person who's died by some other means. So that is what this debate is about, Mr Chairman. Who is right about this? Are the costs going to be shifted not into some magical savings bucket but from ACC to an individual who's injured and their family? Are people who have a hearing loss going to do without the essential support that they need in order to be able to hear? That is the basics of a hearing aid, unless they can afford to buy it themselves. Are people who are not able to work, who are not fit to go back to their old job, let alone any other job, are those people just going to be pushed off ACC and have no financial support at all? Those are the questions. And if the government had any confidence at all in its words, then it would say yes to this amendment, because what this amendment says is, let's get the facts of the situation in 12 months' time. Let's see how injured people are being treated. Let's see where the costs of injury are falling. Let's look at the effects on society of these amendments that we've just put through under Part 1 and 2, and then we'll be able to say who was right and who was wrong. If National had any confidence in the words of their Minister, Nick Smith, they would say yes to this amendment. But I actually don't. If I was them, I wouldn't back Nick Smith. I'm a little on their side. I would be inclined to say Nick Smith is probably leading us down the garden path and isn't saying anything of substance, let alone the truth, in this debate. So it's a high risk for them to back Nick Smith. It's a high risk for the National Party to say, we'll put it to the test when we've got some actual facts. And that's why I predict that National and ACT will vote against this amendment. We can't say that they're chicken or scared. That's not appropriate to use. But I can say that they don't have the confidence to back this amendment, which would put their debate to a test based on facts. That is exactly what this amendment does. It is important when we have such a divided Parliament on such an important issue that we are able to review the facts. I remember Kevin Haigh's predecessor, Sue Bradford, coming to me when I was the Minister for ACC and saying that she thought a lot of people were being turfed off ACC and going onto a benefit. Mr Chairman, without the facts of this situation, nobody would be able to say who was correct in that debate, let alone what to do about it. So I urge support for this amendment.
David Bennett.
I move that the question be now put.